Lights on, mics on, and on today's EMBN show, we are revisiting the big e-bike community in French Polynesia.
Indoor e-biking in Germany.
We've got more motor talk.
And is this the world's most expensive e-mountain bike?
Let's get straight in with the news this week. We've got it inside, outside, and all over the continent. But before that, there's been a lot of talk about e-bike tyres on the forums, on websites. What is the ultimate e-bike tyre?
Well, it's the recurring question just for normal bikes, so this could go on forever with e-bikes. But yeah, I think they're catching up. A lot of the bikes are plus size, but with normal plus size tyres, not saying e-bike tyres, but they've always been relatively sort of thin sidewalls because you have to make them lightweight enough to work, obviously to not be too heavy, but you can go really thin on the sidewalls and you can punch them fairly easily. And
you've got to have the right tyre pressure. I mean, I rode a mate's bike in this morning, he had him with 10 psi and a super tacky heavy compound casing, and it was like
squidging all over the place, no doubt.
Hideous.
To be honest, I've been running a tyre insert in the rear of my Kinazo, so keeping a fairly lightweight tyre, but with that insert, it does really help out.
You rate it?
So far, it's been really good. Obviously, you can still rip a tyre, so you've not got very thick sidewalls.
Yeah, but you know what, Don? You butterfly through those rocks. It's not a problem for you. Wait till you get 90 kilos and smash in through it all.
Okay. Well, I'll wait for those days to come, shall
I? More news is a friend of ours drove to Italy in his electric car on one charge and 3 supercharges.
It's clever stuff. This is Tesla, isn't it?
Yeah,
They've got these superchargers. They don't give you a full 100% charge, but they'll boost you up in sort of 15-20 minutes. Time for a coffee.
It is. Can you imagine doing that? You get like almost 200 miles in the time it takes to drink a coffee in terms of charge.
It's the future.
Yeah. Actually, do you know what? I've heard that fast charging and 700 to 800 watt hour batteries are on their way from some brands.
Well, I guess you could already do that with some bikes. We can bolt on a couple of batteries, but the fast charging, I find that really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the range, 700 to 800 watt hours. That's like a big day out, that is.
Have a spot of lunch, recharge your bike, do another big day out.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some e-bike news from over the world then. From South America, we've had, I've had a mail from Ignacio Barbosa, Nacho.
I know Nacho.
Yeah, from Andes Pacifico, which is starting this week.
Yeah.
It seems they've got Kinevos in the fleet for that big kind of multi-day event now.
So I raced it last year and I can't imagine how much fun they must be having those bikes. It's epic terrain out there.
Yeah.
A huge amount of riding for motorbikes, for normal bikes, and for an e-bike. You could go almost anywhere in those Andes.
Do you know, I did that event a couple of years ago and they said, yeah, well, this hill climb's about 3/4 of an hour, but like there's a different perception of hill climb in South America to Wales.
Yeah.
I think it was like a 3-hour climb.
Yeah.
Definitely like an e-bike down there.
That'd be amazing. Big days out down there.
Totally. I had this video in from Bo in Denmark. Nice one, Bo, for sending this in. And I think it kind of epitomises the kind of mood and the mindset of e-bike riders. They say they're just kind of a bunch of mid-aged guys just having a great time in the woods in Denmark. And it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. Amazing trails.
Lovely light. Just having a great time.
Getting into the wilds, love it.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Keep them coming, guys. Keep on sending you videos. We'd love to see what you've been up to.
Big news this week, Steve.
How big?
Massive.
King size?
Huge.
It better be good.
This is the world's first 3D printed enduro bike.
Really? Are you sure about that?
Well, this is what it says. This is printed in Slovakia, a Volkswagen depot actually.
Right.
And it's called the Kinazo E1.
Hold on.
World's premiere.
Volkswagen depots in Slovakia.
That's what it says, yeah. 3D printed.
Right.
So at the moment you can buy these as medium bikes, but these can be completely custom. So if you want a different head angle, different length, whatever.
So basically what you're looking at is you've got a frame which is tailor-made for you. Any kind of angle, BB height, kind of down tube, chainstay, anything.
Take a look at it. It's a good looking bike. It's got sort of the stem, looks like it really flows into the top tube. However, it comes at a price, Steve. Yeah.
I think they've done a nice job, haven't they?
Well, it's yours for $23,500.
Well, what's the conversion of that? I mean, some of the kind of off the peg mountain bikes these days are kind of pushing 5 figures, right? So what's kind of 20,000 in?
You can buy a road bike, I suppose, for about 15 grand. Some of those, the time trial bikes, aero bikes.
But Don, this is an e-bike.
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah, totally. I think. Do you reckon we get a spin on one of them?
One each.
Can you organise it?
You got your card, haven't you? I'll order one. It says buy.
Card.
Buy.
Any other news from Germany? Of course, Christian.
Yes.
Christian, and thanks for sending this in. Indoor action from your local bike park.
Now we've talked about the possibilities of this, haven't we? About raised bike park, place like that for e-bikes. I think, for people in cold, wet, horrible countries, could be a good option.
I tell you what, Don, the motor and the battery is going to love him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keeping it nice and warm.
Yeah, totally.
You could stop for a cup of coffee and charge your bike.
You could too. Christian, thanks so much for sending your video in. And yeah, if you got any of you guys have got any videos wherever in the world, indoor, outdoor, hot, cold, northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, any continent, please send them in. It'd be great to see you. Okay, we're going to continue on the motor talk, which we started last week. Had some great feedback from you guys. This one here from Tom Williams. Are we going to see any e-bikes with integrated motors and gearboxes? It seems to me that e-bikes currently have a somewhat awkward combination of cutting-edge technology in the motor itself and 113-year-old transmission technology in the derailleur and the cassette. I think what you're saying here, Tom, is you want to incorporate everything in that area around the BP to keep the kind of centre of mass there.
Makes sense, doesn't it? You look at those things like the pinion gearbox, they're really neat looking, using a belt drive. If that became the gearbox and the motor, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet though.
Do you know, the Honda RN01, have you seen this, Steve? It's got a gearbox. The rumour was at the time that this bike could be produced as an e-bike. They just drop the motor in there.
And you know what? We've talked about KTM, we've talked about Husqvarna, we've talked about Yamaha, Kawasaki today.
You've got to think Honda are making electronic bikes.
They've got to be.
They're making electronic cars. So.
Yeah. Honda, if you're listening to this, please get in touch. We'd love to know what you've been up to recently.
And they probably are.
You definitely are. You are, aren't you? Honda, please get in touch. One final question from this week is from John V. Ebike. Thanks for getting in touch, John. What's he said? I can't read that far off, though.
Well, he's talking about comparing the motors again, but now he wants to see the technical differences, the pros and cons of each of them, and actually have a shootout between them.
Yeah, it's huge. John, we just recently done a motor comparison, and we'll give you the link at the end of this video.
More motors. Last week in the poll, we asked about the type of motors you're using.
Right. So we got mid-drive, bolt-on system like Martin had on his bike and Whistler, rear drive motors, or front drive. Now this is really interesting. This one, Don.
Sort of as we expected, I think, for the mid-drive, 78%.
Yeah.
So that's the ones that we're using. But actually, quite a lot of bolt-on. So 10% of the votes.
Wow. But that's crikey. That's quite surprising. We're going to talk about bolt-on motors in the next part of this show, Don.
6% on rear drive, 4% on front drive. So definitely the mid motors are the most popular. I've got a question for you, Steve, about e-bikes.
Not another king-size question, I suppose.
Well, I have lots of questions about e-bikes, as we all do. But should there be a limit on power, is this week's question.
Ooh, that is a big question, actually. That is a big question. I mean, obviously in the UK, as in other countries, we're restricted to 250 watts. Because if you take an e-bike on a public road, it's the wattage, and also you're restricted to 25 kilometers an hour. But when it comes to off-road, are we limited off-road to how fast we can go or how much power there is?
Well, at the moment, of course, we're not. On your push bike, you could stick a 52 chainring on, find your nearest steep hill and ride down it, and that's not illegal. As long as you're out to ride.
We mentioned those guys in Andy Pacifico and kind of Chile earlier on. I mean, they're not going to be going 20 k's down there.
No. I honestly do think there should be a limit on power because this wants to be a pedal assist bike. So Chris Froome could put out 350 watts-ish for about an hour. Greipel, something like 2,000 watts for 30 seconds.
Well, Andre Greipel, the sprinter.
Yeah, so that's, our e-bikes are putting out human-size power.
Hold on a minute. 2,000 watts? That is insane.
You know what? I'm sure G. Aston's numbers aren't too far off that as well.
What's your watt numbers?
Nothing. I can't remember.
I think
not a lot.
The minute you get in huge amounts of power through that back wheel, I think it's going to cause issues. So I think I'm with you on that.
We don't want it.
I think, and I like the fact that you can push an e-bike past that limit and you get a big workout. So
there's a one big grey area, which is for a talk for another day, but let's talk about the limit. So, beyond that speed limit of pedal assist, 25 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Let's say we're on a closed race course. Could you take that off there? Well, anyways, for another day. But let's have a poll. Let's ask our viewers, don't forget to get involved. Do you think there should be a power limit? It's a simple one this week. Find out there. You can vote yes or you can vote no. So we've seen a lot of the big bike manufacturers throw their hat into the e-bike ring, but there have been some notable absences so far.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, like YT, Santa Cruz, Canyon. Actually, we did go and see Fabian Burrell just about a few weeks ago. So this is what he had to say about e-bikes.
You know that Canyon is a tech brand, and there is always development going on. And yeah, for sure, we are working on projects, and we are trying to find the best compromise with all the new technologies coming, and try to also understand what is the e-bike market, where is it going, but also what it's going to bring to the general industry, like in terms, we were talking about trail access, but also the general movement. So when you have new things, there is always goods, but there is also bads. And even if it's a large interest, you need to kind of control and understand what's going to bring.
Have you had any negativity, from your, big downhill enduro background? Have you had any negativity from your friends, like maybe kind of not part of a group because well, what downhill can be like sometimes?
Obviously, I do know that there is some countries where e-bike fashion and the understanding of e-bike is not right there. But in the area I live here,
It's crazy.
It's just crazy. Yeah. There is no more bikes that are just muscular bikes that are being sold. Just for one reason, and I can explain this very easily and clearly, we're living in an area obviously that is rough, and we can talk later what e-bike brings into roughness, but also very steep. Yeah. And doing real mountain bike in the area I live, you need to be very fit. If you're not fit, you don't ride mountain bike because all the uphills are really, really steep. And all the off-road, even fire roads are really steep. And that's mountain passes. So that's what makes having great downhills. But then e-bikes is giving a tons more potential there, for sure.
Tech of the week is BH Bike's Atom X Lynx 5. Don, this has got a 700 watt hour battery on this bike, huge range.
Yeah, they also say it's got the highest energy density in that battery, so it's packed into the smallest area. It's quite a unique looking bike, but
it's very unique. Do you know this brand is from a place called Gipuskaya, which is where Orbea Bikes comes from, actually.
I think BH have actually been building bikes for, 100 years then, if it's after the First World War. So, yeah,
some big experience. Nice one, guys. So, returning to the lost island of Tahiti. Now, this is a video we missed last week, I'm afraid, guys, because of a technical error. Frankie Verney, I think it's Frankie Verney, got in touch together with a friend, Mehdi Gebrlargues.
Yeah.
Is it Gebrlargues?
I think so.
Anyway, this is a video they sent in. There's a big e-bike community in French Polynesia in the South Pacific.
Looks amazing.
I won't go into the geography lesson again this week. But check out this video. I mean, it's fantastic. Location, different ages, different abilities, different bikes. I mean, how can you not love this location?
What a great place to ride a bike. And Mehdi actually was at Sea Otter. Right. I raced him in the e-bike race last year.
Is there anybody you've not raced?
Well, I've raced a lot of people and beat a lot of people.
Do you know what? It's fair. I think I'm going to come up with surfing for that one.
Yeah, it's a great place to surf, Tahiti.
Right, okay. But it's an even better place to go ride on e-bikes.
Let's take both.
Yeah, let's do it. So thanks for sending that video in, Frankie and Mehdi. Any news from kind of places around the world?
Well, Rob Clark has got a question actually. He went to the London Bike Show and he's been wanting to try an e-bike out. He's asking about...
Who doesn't want to try e-bikes out?
Wow, he's asking where he can try one out. So, many of the bike trail centres in the UK have e-bikes to hire. I'm sure that's the same worldwide, to be honest. But also, it's worth getting in touch with the bike shop, see if you can demo one of their bikes.
Okay, Ghetto Tech. This one's from Etienne. I'm guessing, Etienne, you're from France. This is a Shimano disc rotor which has been cut down to be used as anti-chain suck on a Bosch motor.
Wow, I'm sure it does the job. It looks like, I don't know, it's a bit of a bodge, a bit ugly. But
well, that's the whole point.
Yeah, it works. But has he drilled holes into his motor, right? Or has he used existing holes for those bolts?
Ooh, I don't know. Etienne, thanks for sending this in. Please send us any more of your Ghetto Tech. And we got more Ghetto Tech actually. This one's from Phil, the cameraman. Nice from Phil. This is how to oil, his solution on how to oil a Bosch chain. Simple stick, any kind of stick, hardwood, softwood.
Is that right?
Yeah, it does
Not
the
the
job.
neatest one I've seen, but yeah, we get a few of these.
Phil, you're a genius. Yeah.
Debatable.
Yeah.
Right. Talking about bikes, let's see your bikes. It's time for this week's EMBN Bike Vault.
Bike Vault time, Bike Vault. We need to get the GMBN horn out.
First one comes from
Andre Borbor. So he's
Yeah.
got 3 Specialized. I'm guessing that's him and his
Why
friends.
what? Why not? Are these Levos and Kinevos?
Yeah, a mix of all. So the person at the front has been killing their batteries. You've got much less than the other 2 bikes, but I reckon that's super nice, Steve. This is BRBO in Vancouver.
Vancouver, crikey. Have we had any Canadian action yet?
I don't know actually. Trex Superfly, is it? Is that what
Yeah,
they're called?
yeah.
Fully stealth out.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Nice. Oh, this is from David Casaretto in Switzerland. I mean, I know you can't see the bike.
It's not really a bike vault picture.
Look at that location, though. It's mental.
That is mental. I'll
Yeah?
give you that. I can't give it super.
Okay, but you can give it a nice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, there we go. We're from Australia.
Davo.
Davo. Nice one, Davo.
Your green Merida. I think they're good looking bikes to be fair.
Yeah, I
Quite
do
like
love
them.
the Merida.
Yeah, DC Swiss wheels, tidy piece of kit. I reckon that's super nice.
This one is from Elaine Starrin, and I think
Hard tell.
she's from Shropshire.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't recognise the bike, but I reckon that's a very nice bike.
Very nice.
Nice, it's got a GMBN sticker on it as well.
It's a nice stick, yeah. So, and this one is from Frankie Veroni in South Pacific. This
Frankie.
is on Tahiti.
That's his high bike.
I mean,
parked
come
up.
on.
It's looking good. It's very nice.
What, the surf's looking good?
Yeah, it is looking pretty good actually.
Come on, that's super nice.
Go
Super
on,
nice
then.
location, bike. Yeah.
Jose, we've got another.
Jose Manuel Moreno Vargas. I'm pretty sure that's Portugal.
Yep, could well be.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Well, I've already given him Reader super nice, so I think we've got to give it
No,
some-
super nice. Kerim.
Bajramovic.
I'm glad you did that translation.
KTM.
KTM, yeah. I like the light.
I think that looks good. Bike looks good. I like the colour.
There's nice
It's cool.
colourway, yeah.
That sort of the Bosch motor looks really low slung on that bike.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Nice, super nice.
Super nice.
Super nice. Okay, this one's from Lucy Whitcomb. That's a power play, right?
Oh, I don't know. I can't tell. It's all blacked out, but yeah, it looks maybe like that. Yeah, she's very happy with it. I know that.
Very happy.
That's good enough for super nice if you're looking happy.
Crikey.
Final one is from Robert Parsons.
That's Australia. That is. I think that's New South Wales, or is it Perth? Is it the same thing?
No, it's 2 separate coasts of Australia. Someone will let us know.
Sorry.
What do you think about a bike? I'm not sure I like that stem.
I don't like the gloves.
I think it's nice. But keep sending your bikes to that email address down there for a chance to be in the EMBN Bike Vault and hopefully get a horn if you think your bike's super nice.
That's it for this week's Folk Show. Thanks for coming along on the ride. Don't be shy. Please get in touch with any photographs of any kind of videos relating to what you've been up to in the last week.
Yeah, and whilst you're here, you should definitely check out some more videos. Click over here for Steve's video about all the motors and goes really into depth about that. And over there for some common e-bike mistakes.
Yeah. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and also to subscribe.